What if nihilism was the path to true freedom? A lot of people talk about nihilism, which, if you don't know what it means, it basically means the idea that life is meaningless, that there's no meaning to what we do with our life, because we're born, we live, and then we die, and then everyone forgets who we are, and after 300 years, nothing we did mattered. Because someone else does it in a different way. Basically, just everything we do is pointless. There's no point to life. There's no point to being alive. Everything we do is pointless. That's the whole idea of nihilism. But what if becoming nihilistic was the path to freedom? Now, I wrote about this in a Substack post I made, but I'm going to try and turn that post into a video because I believe it's a valuable way of thinking. Now, I don't know if you saw, but I got this idea from this video about a penguin that strayed from its sort of, pack and decided, I'm going to go towards this mountain, even though it was certainly going to die, which, don't worry, this is not about death, this video. But it didn't care, because it preferred to live that way, preferred to chase what it actually wanted to chase, rather than live the same monotonous life. Now, people call that penguin the nihilistic penguin, because he basically gave up and was like, what's the point of anything, I'm just going to go and do this, whatever. People saw it in a negative way, like, there's something wrong with it, it's mentally whatever, which probably, right, it's a penguin, they shouldn't be doing that. But what if that penguin found freedom, even though it strayed from the safety of the pack? They were traveling, I think, towards food or something, and instead he went towards the mountain and just out wherever. What if he experienced true freedom? Because nihilism is freedom. Now, what causes nihilism? What causes someone to become nihilistic? I believe for someone to feel like life is meaningless, even though logically it kind of is yes, we don't, everything's temporary, right? So like every relationship you build is gonna end one day, because either that person's gonna die or you are, or it's just gonna separate somehow before that. Everything you've ever owned is gonna eventually be given away to someone else. Like everything, you can argue that nihilism is true, but I think it happens when your life becomes pointless. Like, hear me out, right? I know I kind of just reiterated the point I said, but I mean it as in, like, if you look at your life right now, I've done this so many times, where you realize if you've been living the same day over and over and over again, I wake up, do the same thing, go to work, a job I didn't like, and I come home, and I have all this other stuff to do that I don't care about, and I sleep, and I've literally done nothing with the day that I actually wanted to do. I've just lived this monotonous, dull life every single day. There's no excitement in my life, there's no curiosity, there's just, it's an alright day. You live that same day every single day, and obviously you're going to feel like life's meaningless. You work some shit job that you don't even care about the work you do. You're in a relationship that sort of feels safe, it's alright. You don't even like the person that much, but it is what it is. You have some good moments, but you don't really care. You have friendships that you see, you have a laugh, but you don't really have like a strong bond. There's nothing about your life that's really exciting. You just live the same life every single day. There's nothing new. It's just safe, comfortable. There's nothing there. There's not real a life. It's just, you're just getting by, right? Obviously, if you experience that, you're going to feel nihilistic, because that is pointless. Because I believe meaning comes from an emotional connection, a deep emotional connection to what you do day to day, to what you do with your time, and that emotional connection comes from conscious action. Like, you're doing it because you genuinely feel like this is right within you. Like, you actually want to do it. Like, you feel so much, pulled towards doing this thing that you want to do. Like, you don't go to your job and think, I really want to be, I can't wait to go to my job, to clock in, to do this work, like, for me, I work at McDonald's, right? And not come to that place, man. I can't wait to clock in. I'm gonna serve all these people. I'm gonna, make this food, and it's gonna be a great day. I don't feel that at all. Because I don't. Like, who would? It's McDonald's, right? And then, that's how it should be, right? That's how it should be. But people settle for comfortable, for easy, because it's too hard. Finding something more meaningful is hard, right? But meaning comes, like I said, from emotional connection, and emotional connection is a result of conscious action. So, if you want to experience a meaningful life, then you have to understand that we create the meaning. We create the meaning. Right? Life itself is pointless. Yes, that's true. Okay, everything we do, from when we're born to we die, it all ends at some point. But not in our lifetime. While we're here, it is very much real. While we exist, it exists with us. So we get to experience it. So while it doesn't matter if before we were born, or after we died, none of that really matters. But while we're here, we get to create the meaning, right? We get to decide what matters to us. Like I said, you do that through an emotional connection as a result of a conscious action. That's how you build strong relationships, with conscious actions that result in emotional connection, like showing up for someone every single day, even when you don't feel like it, because you consciously know that you want that person, you want them, that is your person, you want that person to feel appreciated by you. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you're tired that day, you don't consciously, you want this person. You know within you that this person is someone you want in your life, so you show up for them every single day. So many people are dating people they don't even want in their life. They don't even like them that much. They're just scared to be alone, or they're scared of this, or you put your fears aside, you put everything else aside, it's just that person and you. And you consciously want to make sure that person knows that you want them in your life, right? So with your career, you should be absolutely excited by it. And it's obviously something that's been boring. Like I have a clothing brand and a social media marketing business, and I started doing this as well. And some of the days where I just don't care. I can't go with it. But I know that is what I want to be doing. That is this is right now. Right, this is the other topic for another video, from all meant to one career path. I know right now this is what I want to be doing, so I consciously make the decisions to show up. Even when I don't feel like it, when I feel show up, I'll create. Because this is what I want to do with my life. And I refuse to live a life that I don't want. Even if I'm uncomfortable, I'd rather be uncomfortable than comfortable in a life that I don't even like, because that's not a life, that's just a distraction from the fear of failure, or whatever I'm scared of, whatever people are scared of, who would refuse to chase their dreams, right? That's all that. It's not even a life, it's just something they've settled for that they don't even like, that eventually eats them up. And that's why people have like midlife crises, because they're not faced that within them. They've not chased what they want to chase. So I don't know if I have much storage left in my camera. Hold on. I've got like 9 minutes worth of footage left, and then I've run out of space. That's crazy, but hold on, I forgot where I was going. I was leading somewhere, but I forgot. Anyway, the point of this video is that you should become nihilistic within your life, not towards life itself, but to your life. Look at your life and think, this is pointless, I don't care about this job. I'm going to find some work that actually excites me, actually makes me want to wake up in the morning, because so many people find it hard to get out of bed because bed's so warm. But realistically, it's because they don't have any reason to get out. Nothing they're gonna do in that day is exciting. You know, I know so many people, especially at my work, who just like, my bed's so warm, I don't want to get out of bed, and just complaining all the time. It's like, this is, you know, you're meant for way more than this, but no one ever tells you that. No, you don't realize that yourself unless you go and find that. And I realized that, like, when I first started my brand, honestly, I've just felt amazing, like, to wake up and be like, I love this. You know, right now I'm kind of in a bit of a gap with it because I can't really do anything with it right now because I'm manufactured away and I've been a bit, anyway, I don't need to go into that. But when you find that thing you actually want to do, and there's multiple, trust me, there's so many different things you'll find that you like to do, it feels so much better than just living a mundane shit life that you don't even like. And I want that for you. I want you to find that, but you only find that if you just search for it. Like, you might be sitting there thinking, I don't know what to do, but you've never tried to find out. You know, you've just surrounded your life with distractions from the pain of just doing nothing, and boredom. Like, the amount of stuff you learn about yourself when you're just bored. If you sit there bored, without TikTok, without social media, without video games, without films, without drugs, alcohol, smoking, anything that just takes you away from that moment, that boredom feeling, eventually you'll just sit and think, I feel like, I can't do any of the stimulating things, so I'll do something productive. You'll start off saying, I'm just going to tidy my room. Then you'll go, okay, what's next? And then you'll scale up in the productivity. So I remember when I first did this, I tidied my room and I started reading. And then from the reading, I was like, I could write. And I started writing. And then from writing, I was like, I could use this and make a video. And from videos, I was like, well, I could film for something I've created. Or what could I create? Or I'll try making clothes. So I made clothes and I filmed the videos of the clothes. And then from there, I was like, if I can film my own business, I can film other people's businesses too, which is what I'm doing now. And then it'll just keep going. You unlock different things that you realize you can do. And you only get there from being bored. And it all started from just the basic of tidying the room. You scale up and you get different ideas. Your brain, right now you don't get any ideas because all you do is numb your brain. Because in work, because you're just feeling shit. But if you cut that off and you start being conscious with your actions rather than just being constantly stimulated with music and scrolling and vaping, and you let your mind just wander along. First it sucks because you've not, the reason why people are so obsessed with stimulation is because it distracts from pain. But that pain mounts up, and then when you drop the stimulation, that pain hits, and then so it feels bad at first, but then eventually you just feel like okay, just normal. Your natural form is just okay. Without all this stimulation, your natural form is not okay. You're not okay because you don't know what you're doing. And you're running from all this pain. Originally, when boredom is pain. It's not really that painful, but all the other pain that you're running from will hit. But what I'm trying to say is, pain is the only real way you find out why you're here and what you're looking for and what you want to do with your life. You have to be uncomfortable. So, with that being said, you have to understand that you are capable of finding and of actually doing something with your life. I never thought I was. I'm literally a college dropout who works at McDonald's, and last week was my actual was my last week of full time, and now I work part time because my business is doing well enough so I don't have to work full time anymore. So I went from 5 shifts a week to 2, and it's not a crazy achievement, but I did this from nothing. Everything I've learned from my own back, because I learned that you can literally learn anything. You can learn anything. There's so much information available, and there's nothing you can't do. But nobody realizes that because nobody does anything. They just react. The whole day is just reacting. You know, your job, you're just reacting to what someone has told you to do. In the morning, you're just reacting to the impulse to scroll, the impulse to eat breakfast, the impulse to do this, whatever. You don't have any consciousness anymore. You need to find that again, and you only find that from cutting out everything that takes away your consciousness. It takes away from your boredom. Because boredom is how you find yourself. So, that's everything for this video. Cut off the stimulation. Be alone with yourself for once and find out what it is you actually want. Like I said, it takes time. It might take you a whole day, a week, a month. For me, it happened fast because I was already sort of putting off social media. So when I cut it off completely, it wasn't really much different. So I was already kind of thinking about what I wanted to do. But with you, it might take longer. I don't know, we're different people, but I know it will happen because it can happen for every single person. I've helped people do this, I know, and they've done it. Every single person I've helped and told to do this has found something they want to do. Even if it starts off small, it's something. So, I'm actually going to, I hope I've not run out of time and just cut off like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.